So, welcome. I just got done making gata with my church. And if you don't know what gata is, it's a delicious Armenian sweet bread. And it's this dough, obviously. It's filled with butter and sugar and everything that's great for you. I had a lot of fun. But it was, I don't know, I have, sometimes I have social anxiety, and it really acts up when I'm in Armenian environments. I don't know why. Do you ever feel weird around your own peeps? Do you ever? Like, you ever notice how you feel a little more shy or a little more inhibited? Sound like Andy Rooney right now. You ever notice how? You ever wonder why? You ever notice? R.I.P. Andy Rooney. You made... Why did I just do the live long and prosper sign? Oh, okay. I don't know why I just did this. It means live long and prosper, but he's obviously not going to live long because he's dead. I just want to talk about the television show that I'm writing right now. It's an adaptation of a play I wrote way back when called 1 + 1 = 2. And what the original was about, it was about a woman in 1968 in Massachusetts. And at that time, she was 28 years old. And she had, back then you couldn't really diagnose learning disabilities, but today we would call her dyslexic. So she was forced to drop out of school because back then only 1 in 5 kids with a disability was allowed to go to school. And the ones that were lucky enough to get to go to school were treated pretty terribly and put in separate classrooms and were given an education that was not always appropriate for their needs. So she creates a grassroots movement to improve and increase access to public education for handicapped students. But she becomes so obsessed with her cause that... Why am I shaking my fist at you like, I'm gonna beat you like you owe me money? She becomes so obsessed with her cause that she starts to neglect her family and her friends, and she starts to treat them poorly. It's an interesting look at what happens when someone becomes so focused on the minority that we kind of forget about the majority, and what happens when somebody's motives for being an activist are not completely altruistic. In her case, they weren't, because some of it was because she'd been beaten down so much growing up that she now kind of wanted to be the one on top. The TV adaptation is going to take place in the present day, and she's 78 at the beginning of the show, and she turns 79 during it. So she's an elderly woman now, and shows her with her family, and her husband and daughter, now grown daughter, she was a kid in the original stage play, they're writing a book about her life and her legacy and everything she has done for special education. But the process of writing the book unearths all sorts of old feelings and ghosts from the past. You know, they also want to write about how she was as a wife, how she was as a mother, and sometimes that involves them looking back on memories, and a huge portion of the show is going to be flashbacks of the past. See, the show is not just focused on her family, it focuses on a few different families. And the show, I want to make this very clear, it is not a disability show. Yeah, there's an element to it, but what makes it unique is that disabilities are really like a secondary, or even, I dare say, tertiary issue. Because the show mainly deals with issues related to parenting. How parents make mistakes, how they try to take steps toward redemption, how they promise to change but they don't always change. And the guilt that you may feel about having been a subpar parent, or good parents who second guess themselves. That's all in there. Usually when people with disabilities are at the center of a film or a movie or a book or a play or any kind of narrative, their disability takes center stage. It's like they live it, they breathe it every single day, and it's never off their minds. And I'm not suggesting that we should ignore it completely or whatever. It's very much a part of the person's life, but that's not all their life is. That's why it's important to show Marielle as a woman with a learning disability being a mother, a wife, and a friend, and having very normal experiences like you and I would have, you know, fighting with a kid, or taking care of the kid while they're sick, or going on vacation with their family, and not constantly having their mind on what it's like to have a disability all the time. And that's what this show wants to do. This show wants to put the person first and the disability second. She likes helping others, but she also has a lot of hang-ups and a lot of insecurities, and sometimes she takes them out on people. The show also deals, when I said deals with themes of parenting, it touches on adoption. It touches on divorce. It talks about people having kids when they don't want kids or when they shouldn't have had kids. And the way I want to approach these issues is there's not so much melodrama in them. I'd like to add an element of humor. I think it's a dramedy because it has like equal parts comedy and equal parts drama. Even though there will be plenty of lighthearted moments, nothing is a fairy tale in this show, okay? It's not like, oh, you know, the kids got their adoptive parents and they lived happily ever after. Oh, the stepmother just came into the kids' lives and then she made everything great again. The most complex subjects cannot be tied up in a neat little bow for the sake of viewers to feel happy all the time. I want it to be something a kid can watch with their parents, because that's ultimately, if the show is about parenting, you want your kids to be able to watch it with you so you can maybe talk about what's going on. And so maybe your kid can feel the stuff some of the kids in the show feel. It's a good challenge for me to see how clean I can be, because sometimes my humor can be a little bit on the blue side. I'm gonna put the Indiegogo up soon. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and donate to the Indiegogo, because this show would not be made possible without you. Catch you later.